Well, today's Friday. I brought with me a change of clothes, and so after work I just changed into my fresh t-shirt and shorts and had a quick dinner at the restaurant over there. Had some Afghan mantu, and started the app. The Lyft and Uber. Was sitting there at Starbucks for only 15-20 minutes, nothing. And then I see that both Lyft and Uber showed that the airport was busy. There was like a lot of rides an hour. I think it was like 13-14 rides per hour. And so I drove to the airport and sat there maybe 15-20 minutes, and then Uber offered me kind of like what they call a match, when they send out a trip to all drivers, like basically a trip request, and whoever clicks that button first gets the ride. Otherwise I'd be sitting there in that queue at the airport, there's like 50-60 cars in front of me. On Uber, on Lyft it was like 6 to 10. So I thought I would get Lyft, even though it's cheaper, but I don't want to sit there for half a day. But I missed one request from Uber. By the time I position my finger above the screen to press it, it says no longer available. And then the next one, I didn't even read it, boom, I pressed it, and it says request matched, proceed to arrival level .12. And I love Calgary airport. It's so simple, you leave the Uber staging area and there's like 3 lanes, and the curb lane goes to arrivals level 1, the middle lane goes to level 2 departures, and the left lane goes to into underground parking, and it's all one way. So basically when we leave the staging area, you go west and it loops around. And so I picked up a guy. He had no luggage. I'm guessing he returned the rental car or something. I did not ask him. And I took him probably 15 kilometers west to west side of Calgary. Just some apartment building near Nose Hill Park. And then I always look on Google Maps to see what's around me. Are there any shopping malls, shopping areas, restaurants where there might be some demand for a taxi? And I see that I'm sitting half a kilometer outside of a huge mall. There's lots of stores in there, restaurants, Starbucks. And so I drove there, parked there, and maybe 5 minutes later, Lyft offered me a ride 3 kilometers away. I was not too happy about that, 3 kilometers. But I took it because it was going downtown Calgary. So it was a good idea, kind of like to reposition myself, because again, I'm always surprised why Fridays are so lame. Maybe things start happening, at night when bars close. I don't know, but I don't have the time to work so late. I just want to, like today I started at 5, and time now is already, what's the time now? Hold on. 7:15. Yeah, 7:15. I only did 2 trips. So one from the airport to west side of Calgary, and then from west side to downtown. And it was a young couple. And I see the destination is Modern Love. And I said, is that a restaurant? And they said, no, it's kind of like a bar and a venue with live music. And he says, the guy says, my friends are playing tonight, like that. So they're musicians. Oh, that's the, I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's that drunk people, what do they call it? Pedal pub. Like there's 8-10 people sitting there and they're drinking and they're pushing pedals. You see that? And there's music, which of course I'm not supposed to record. And they're all drunk. And you get stuck behind one of these, you're in trouble because they're very slow. And of course they have no signals, so they turn left and right. But this is a popular site in downtown Calgary in the summer. So somebody had a crazy idea. So they created these pedal pubs, and somehow they got a license that you can drink and drive. Well, I'm guessing the guy who steers is probably sober, right? But all the guests are, you can see, like they're, moving around, they're shouting. So anyway, this guy says, yeah, we're going to, my friends are playing tonight at that venue. And he says, by the way, we have an extra ticket. If you want a free ticket, he says, I can give it to you. And I said, no, it's okay. I need to work. I need to make some money. And so they asked me to drop them off because I think it was still too early for the performance. And he says, hey, boss, there's a bar nearby. We have a couple of friends sitting there. Would you mind dropping us off like a couple of blocks before the restaurant? I said, sure. Like I can click the button on the bottom of my screen, like what it's called, dropped off. So I can drop you off anywhere. So, or I can change the address, right, where we start going, and then the app will recalculate automatically. And so yeah, so that's it. In 2 hours, 2 rides. So the first one paid from the airport. That one paid, I think, $16 because it was Uber, and now Lyft paid 14 from west to downtown here. And again, I was sitting. I stopped at the corner where I dropped them off, and of course, it's downtown. You have to be careful where you park. But of course, I'm in the car, right? So if there's like an inspector or something, I can always move. But I just decided to go around the corner, and then I see this. Like I remembered this place. I always wanted to sit here. This is Safeway, and we are downtown, and it's free parking for 2 hours for customers only, like the signs. Oh yeah, parking rules. Private property, maximum 2 hours. Customer parking will be enforced. No trespassing. Parking lot patrolled by security. But I went inside. I bought a small pack of raspberries. So I'm a customer. And right when I was leaving, I see a guy drives up in an SUV, and I see his license plate is A-something. So I know it's a livery. It's I don't see taxi marking, so I know that guy is either Lyft or Uber. And he pulls out right to the Safeway, and there's a couple with lots of shopping bags was waiting. And I'm thinking, wait, I'm here. Why nobody offered me this ride? But I'm guessing he was here earlier. And then I saw across the parking lot there was a guy with a sign Uber, and now he just left. I don't know, is he just relocating to a different area? We got a ride, but I see a taxi guy sitting here as well, so that's always a good indication that this is a this is a good area. So I don't want to move, especially since it's free parking. right? So that's the plan. The plan is maybe get something, since it's already 20 minutes past 7. I want to be home at 8. Maybe get something going, north or northeast. And because, by the way, tomorrow is Saturday, but I'm working at my main job, driving that tilt and load truck. Because this Saturday it's my turn. Last Saturday the other guy was working. This Saturday it's my turn, and so we are alternating Saturdays because it's busy. It's busy, summer season. People are renting equipment like crazy. And also Monday, this is actually a long weekend. So Monday, some kind of a civic holiday here. And so Monday nobody works. Most people don't work, but our store, our equipment rental store, is open. And I see inside the shop there's like signs everywhere. Monday 8 to 4. Like normally they open 7 to 5:30. And my shift starts at 6:45 and usually ends at 4 unless there's something else, and then they pay me overtime to stay after 4. Like yesterday I left at 5:30, so almost 90 minutes overtime, but today I left at 4. So each day is different, depends on the demand, how many loads they are to deliver, to pick up, and so yeah, I'm working tomorrow, so I don't want to be here until 10 or 11, right? So I'm always feel like 8 o'clock is good enough. So I made what, $30? Wanted to make at least 50, but I don't know why, like Fridays are always not good. Saturday, in my experience, Saturday is the best day. So I usually start early in the morning and try to make like $200, or ideally 200 plus money for gas. Let's say if my car does 10 liters per 100 kilometers, so that's around $15 Canadian per 100 kilometers, so $30 for 200 kilometers. So if I can make $230, that means that my net income is $200. And again, this is not my main job, right? So my main job is driving the truck, where I don't pay for gas, I don't pay for any job related expenses. I'm just an employee, company driver. And so I just want to make, like, the plan here is just, if I can make $400 to $500 a week extra, which is like $2,000 a month extra, that would be awesome, And that's why I come out a few nights a week, but mostly most money I make on Saturday and Sunday. But again, this Saturday is screwed up, but I actually make more money at the main job, right? Because it's $24.50 an hour plus overtime, and there's no gas money, there's no expenses. So I wanted to quit that job and focus on Lyft and Uber, but you see, like, it's totally up and down all the time. It's not guaranteed. Some guy said he made $400 a day during the stampede, which I think is BS. I highly doubted how you can make $400, especially since this guy has a basic Honda Civic car, just Uber X, not Uber Comfort, not Uber Premium, not Uber XL, just basic Uber X, which is the cheapest, which is what I have. And I've been studying the list of Uber gave me a list of vehicles that shows what they qualify for, what class of Uber. And so there's Uber XL, Uber Premium, so those pay better than Uber X. And I'm focusing on a couple of brands. Well, today is Sunday. I came out to do more Ubering, and I'm sitting right outside. There's a big hospital on the other side there, but there's a highway behind this fence. And so far I did, it's, what's the time now? I don't see, 10:30. So far I did 3 trips, The first one was surprisingly with Lyft, and 2 after that were with Uber. So far I'm sitting at $20 with Lyft and 24 with Uber, but 20 on Lyft took only 1 trip, so which is pretty good. So I think I started at 8:30 in my area in Northeast, and was sitting there near McDonald's. There was nothing, so I started driving towards the airport, thinking that I'm gonna get myself into the queue, because there's always something from the airport. Either it's passengers flying in, or it's people returning rental cars, because there's a lot of rental car companies over there. But as soon as I started driving, Lyft gave me a ride from a nearby hotel. A guy was going like 22 kilometers all the way to the west side of Calgary to catch a Flex bus going to Banff. You know, Indian guy from Ontario, runs a construction company. He was asking me a whole bunch of questions about how to move here, because he wanted to move here, buy an apartment here, and kind of like expand his still keep his business in Ontario, but expand his construction business here. I told him I also worked in construction. I said I was certified on a wheel loader, and he kind of looked at me blank, and I said, do you know what a wheel loader is? He says, no. Said, wait, you work in construction? And he says, oh, it's my own, I do plumbing and air conditioning. I said, you know what a skid steer is? Like a bobcat. He says, yeah. I said, well, a wheel loader is a bigger version of that, right? But it's interesting that he's an engineer and has a master's in finance, something like that. And then after that, I picked up a lady right from that area and took her going southeast. She was meeting her husband with a kid at a park. And we stopped at Safeway grocery store. She picked up some groceries, so they were gonna have a picnic in the park. And then after that, I picked up a small family. Small, I mean like they had a small kid, so husband and wife. And I took them from pretty much that area where I drop off the lady, maybe 3 kilometers away. And I took them to this area near the hospital. It looks like they're visiting some friends. And that's it. So now I'm sitting. And one thing I found interesting, Uber versus Lyft, is that Uber works on CarPlay. Like you see this? Now I'm on CarPlay. So it's connected over here. But if you look at, you see Dasher is available. Also Dasher. But if you look at Lyft driver, it says check back later. Lyft maps on CarPlay is not available. So only Uber works like this, which gives you a much bigger screen. But something happened during this last ride. For some reason, I lost the volume. I lost the sound, and sometimes I find it happens, when the instructions become too loud, and then I push the volume button when the thing is speaking to me, and I don't notice that I bring it to 0. And then the only way to increase it back up is find a moment when the app is talking. Because if it's not talking and you're pushing these buttons on the side, all it does is change your ringer volume. And right now it's at maximum, but I don't know. I couldn't make it work for some reason during the last trip. It's very annoying when you constantly have to look at the phone to see the directions, which way you want to go, left or right at the next traffic light. So another thing happened is we were merging with the highway over here near the hospital, and the guy on my left almost hit me. He wasn't looking, he was changing lanes. I guess he was trying to get to the hospital. I was in the middle lane and he was in the outside lane, and all of a sudden I see his car is moving right into my lane. I guess I was in his blind spot or something, and I honked my horn, and to my right was a big bus, so I had to move slow towards the bus. The bus honks at me. I mean, I had nowhere to go, but of course, I hit my brakes, and I saw the guy swore, some old dude, didn't see me, was trying to merge. It's interesting. And I was in front of him. What's interesting, like the blind spot is usually behind you, right? But sometimes I find, like, even in my car, like this area here creates a blind spot because these things are so massive over here. A couple of times I actually, when I was making a turn, I hit a curb because I cannot see anything over there, behind. So some car, this is not a very good design, so I always have to do like this, when I'm turning, to make sure that I'm not turning too close to the curb. Now here's a couple of photos I took. I saw something interesting. Like, I saw one of my rides, I ended up at gym, and I see a guy drives over in this beautiful Jeep, fully, I don't know, all bells and whistles, including the intake. You see the air intake above the windshield. It was so cool. He has a winch, all kinds of signs, I don't know, life preservers on the back there. He's ready for anything. And so I decided to look at the lights, headlights. It just, the guy's in love with his Jeep. And so I got out and I took a couple of pictures with my cell phone, because this thing looked really impressive. A Jeep Wrangler, just a 2-door short version. And then this morning, Monday, they sent me to Airdrie, and I was coming through some fields and passing some farms, and I saw a bunch of these old tractors just sitting in the grass. Like, there's no sign, for sale and nothing, but these looked very, very old. And again, there's nobody around, so I just got out and grabbed my cell phone and took a picture. Something was appealing about these old machines, and there were 6 of them all in all. So the first picture shows 3, and this is the other 3. So these are, I don't know, from 50s probably, 40s and 50s, very old. And you see a silo there in the back. So yeah, there was a farm to the right. But I'm guessing, I don't know, what's the point of the guy displaying these tractors? Like, they're not for sale, I don't think, but they look cute.